Yo, what's going on everybody? It's me again, your boy OG Den, back again for another video. And today, I'm going to teach you guys a little bit about longboard dancing and we're going to have a good time. So without further ado, let's get right into the video. Okay guys, so first off, I want to just talk about a quick few things. First of all, what is longboard dancing exactly? It's kind of a broad term for a lot of things. Basically, it's just using your tricks and creativity to perform dance-like movements and patterns on your longboard, or any type of board for that matter. It doesn't have to be a longboard, it's just that's mainly what it's known for. So going along with that train of thought, there are a couple types of boards that are going to make longboard dancing a lot easier and nicer for you, and that's going to mainly have to be because of the size of the board, because smaller boards are just going to be a little harder to be able to control your balance when you're doing a lot of these movements and such. So the board that I normally use is a 38-inch long loaded Tantian, but really anything 38 inches or longer for that is going to be the perfect size for longboard dancing in my opinion. Just make sure you don't get anything that's shorter than that. Here's my board right here and it's 38 inches. It works perfectly good for me, and I've used 42 inches before and higher, and they're all great. Just keep that in mind. And now going along with that, if you get one on the shorter end, like 38 inches, it's going to be a little bit easier and faster to do some of these tricks. And if you get one that's longer, it might be a little bit difficult to do certain tricks, but it's going to be easier to keep your balance and do a lot more foot pattern movements. So with that out of the way, today I'm going to cover 3 basic longboard dancing movements that you should know to get started as a beginner longboard dancing. And the first one of those is going to be the cross step. Okay guys, so the cross step is basically a foot pattern movement on your board. When you're riding it around, it adds a little more style to your motions and your cruising and carving, and it also doubles as a great trick that you can integrate within any trains of longboard tricks and dancing patterns that you do. It's a pretty simple trick to learn, but it's going to take a lot of balance and skill to pull off properly. So here's basically how you do it. What you're going to want to do is stand on your board like normal, and you're going to take your front foot as you're moving and pull it right next to your back foot, so your feet are right next to each other towards the tail of the board. And then you're going to take your back foot, cross it over your front foot once, and then you cross your front foot right over that foot, and then you take your back foot and you pull it right back to the tail. That's basically the simple motion of the trick, and you can just keep repeating this pattern over and over until you feel like you want to be done with it. This trick is going to be really great because you can combo with a lot of other tricks and other dancing foot patterns, which some of them I will show you today. And it's also great because it can make your carving look a lot better. So once you learn the basic foot patterns of this trick, you can combine it with your carving. What you're going to want to do is carve to the left, and then when you want to switch to the other direction and carve to the right, you do the step foot pattern. And when you bring your front foot to your back foot, you're going to flip your pressure to your heels, complete the pattern with your heels on the board, and then when you finish, you go back to your tails, and it's going to create this really cool effect where you're going back and forth carving, but you're also doing the cross step pattern, and it's going to look super cool, and you can integrate it with tons of other longboard tricks. So I highly recommend learning this one as a beginner. Alright you guys, and the next trick we're going to be learning for longboard dancing is going to be called like the 180/360, I guess, and I'm going to do one right now. Hang on, let me try that again. There we go, 360 on the board. Really cool trick to learn, and you can seriously combo this trick with like hundreds of different combos. Dancing tricks, regular longboard tricks, all sorts of tricks. The 180/360 spin is seriously super versatile, and you gotta learn. Now with this trick, I'm pretty sure I actually showed you guys how to do this trick in the 5 beginner longboard tricks, but it also combos as a dancing trick. So I'm gonna go over it again in case you haven't seen that video, but if you want to check that video out too, it'll be linked right here on the top of the video in the little banner card. But let's go over the trick again because I think it's really good to know, and it's basically like super essential for longboard dancing. Here's basically how you perform the trick. You're going to get on your board and stand normally, and when you want to perform the 180, you're going to take your front foot and you're going to line it up with your back foot in a T formation. And then all you're going to do is you're going to take your shoulders and you're going to twist them 180 degrees to the right and move your back foot onto the front of the board. And now to get back, you're just going to do the exact same thing, except I don't really line it up fully on this one. I just kind of half line it up, and then I just give a large twist to my body 180 degrees with my shoulders leading the twist, and then I'm back in a normal position. And that's pretty much how you do it. It sounds a lot easier than it actually is though, because it takes a lot of practice and a lot of balancing to get it perfect. But once you get this trick, I promise you, you're gonna love it. It's super awesome to do. You can combo it with so many tricks, and I highly recommend you learn it, even if you're not into longboard dancing, just as a longboard trick. Anyways, let's get into the final thing I'm gonna show you today for longboard dancing, and then we'll wrap the video up. Okay guys, and the final thing that I'm going to show you guys how to do today is a longboard dancing foot pattern known as the Peter Pan. This is actually the hardest one personally for me to perform right now, but it may be easier for you depending on how good your balance is and other factors, I suppose. But this one is really cool actually, and there's a lot of things you can combo this one with in longboard dancing. Let me kind of explain how to do this trick. Just like all the other ones, you're going to be riding your board normally, and you're actually going to start this one sort of the same as if you were going to do the 180 pivot. So you put your front foot lined up with your back foot in that T formation, only instead of pivoting, you take your back foot off the board. So you're riding with your front foot only on the board, and then immediately after you take your back foot off, you're gonna cross it over the board and put it back onto the board on the right side of the board, or for regular riders, the left side of the board. And then as soon as that one touches, you're gonna take your other foot off and recross it over the board, and you're just gonna keep repeating this as long as you want. Or as a beginner, sometimes your feet will end up creeping up to the top of the board. So until there's no more space, and then you just kind of stop. You just hop back on normally and continue riding, or combo it into a different trick. Now this trick is super hard to learn, but it's super cool and awesome when you finally get it, because you can combo this with so many beginner tricks and so many harder tricks. It's super versatile, and it looks really cool when performed properly, especially if you can go for a really long time on it. And now with that being said, I'm gonna tell you a little secret with the Peter Pan, just to practice and get a little better at your balancing. So you can actually start on your longboard with only that one foot on the board leaning to the right, and then just try to ride around and hold your balance on that one foot, and just keep going around in a big circle on your longboard. So find an empty spot, hold your foot on the board on that side, and just keep riding around like that until you feel somewhat comfortable with that foot on the board. And then once you feel comfortable with that foot, try it with your other foot, with your left foot. It'll probably be a little harder. It's definitely a little harder for me. I just tried it. But yeah, that's basically how I practice the Peter Pan to get better at it. And once you feel confident with all those 3 tricks, you're pretty much on your way to becoming a super awesome and sick longboard dancer. You can combo these with regular longboard tricks, harder longboard dancing tricks. You can make variations of them. But these are kind of my personal 3 foundation tricks that I think are really going to help your balance, and they're just going to help your overall board control and dancing ability. So with all of that out of the way, I hope you guys learned something awesome in the video today. I certainly thought it was fun, and I'm glad I'm teaching you guys these things, because you gotta know them for longboard dancing. And with all that out of the way, if you liked the video, please hit the thumbs up button, or consider subscribing if you like the vibes we got over here. I got more videos coming. I make new videos every Wednesdays and Saturdays, and I don't want to drag this out too long, so I'm just gonna end it abruptly right now.